It is such a pleasure again to come to Hamstead and to the town hall of Hamstead. Hamstead has a special place in the play of the divine. Perhaps the people living in Hamstead do not know the significance of this place. But we know there have been great poets who were created out of the beautiful atmosphere of this area. And one of them was William Blake, who has said a lot about the future ascent of man. He is one of the greatest seers of modern times, I should say. Into such details he has gone, that's surprising. How a human being could reach that height of understanding of the divine laws. We understand the laws that are made by human beings. These laws also have come to us through our unconscious, through that great energy within us which inspires how to regulate our lives, how to improve, and how to give the basics required securities in life. The whole social structure was based on the laws that we received from the unconscious. If human beings think that they have got these through their mental projection, they are sadly mistaken. Whatever you project through your mental effort is actually dead. It's already there. Whatever is known to you is in the library. You have to just read it. But whatever new has to be known comes to you through the unconscious. This unconscious knows the divine laws. And by the time it arrives at the human awareness, there are some distortions, there are some misunderstandings. That's how we go on improving our systems, our governments, our ideas, how to change, how to be more peaceful, how to be more congenial with each other, how to keep countries together, bound in some basic things. But alas, what we find that human beings have separated themselves. Nations have separated themselves. The whole world is on the brink of breaking into pieces. The laws that are based basically on the fact that man must love man, sometimes start creating hatred among human beings. But divine laws never change. They are eternal laws. They are the laws that are made for only our well-being. Nothing bad can come through them. and to understand these laws, we have to enter into the realm of God, into the realm where they operate, to understand them. For example, to understand the laws of England, I had to come to England. In the same way, you have to enter into the kingdom of God to understand those laws, and you are amazed how effective they are, how universal they are. Supposing there is a Saj Yogi in London and one in China, another in Russia, and the one in Australia, they speak the same language. They know the same thing, because these are the laws manifested by the all-pervading, universal, divine power of love of God. It cannot be contained into small pots, into small nations, into small brains of human beings. Those laws govern us everywhere. For example, a flower becomes a fruit under that law. A seed becomes a tree under that law. Your heart pulsates under that law. Your food is digested under that law. You are brought to your balances also under that law. For example, you are an extrovert, you work very hard, you think of the future all the time, your heart will be attacked. Supposing you work too much, means you work with your brain, your heart will be attacked, a balance. If you work with your heart too much, you are an emotional person, you weep too much, cry too much, then your brain goes out. Look at the balance. The heart should go out, but the brain goes out. All these balancing forces are worked out by this all-pervading power of love. Now, many people have talked about this all-pervading power of love. Everybody says this is love. There's a big organization coming up. Every third day I find an organization of love. This all-pervading power has been felt by so many before. But when they wrote about it, others took a key from that, or a clue from that, and started dead organizations in the name of all-pervading power. Now, this all-pervading power is a very subtle thing. At this human level, you cannot feel it. It's a fact. You cannot feel this all-pervading power at all. If you say, I feel it, then you are denying the reality. If you want to live with unreal things, dishonest to yourself, then nobody can help. But if you are honest, you have to know that this all-pervading power, when you have, you yourself become collectively conscious. You yourself have a different awareness than what you have. Now people might say, all right, we have felt that different awareness. We are there. The other day somebody told me that I am God-realized. I said, all right, now there must be something special about you to be God-realized. And when we talked about things, I was amazed what he was saying. And I just couldn't understand how could he believe into such a thing as pronouncing that he is God-realized. So we have to understand when these laws operate, they operate, but we do not know about them. We cannot feel it. We don't, at the most we might see a flower becoming a fruit. But can we say, how does it become? It's a living process. All living processes can be only reported, but they cannot be explained. For example, you can say, the fetus is there, the fetus has to grow, and a child is born. This is just reporting. But how can you explain that a foreign body goes into the human being, into the mother's womb, and it is not rejected according to all laws known. Everything that goes into the human body has to be rejected, but is not rejected. It is nurtured, looked after, loved, and then at the right time, it is thrown out of the body. Who does all these things? We don't want to know about it. We have turned our faces to that. We never explain that. We can report that there is gravity in the Mother Earth. But how there is gravity and why there is gravity, that we cannot explain. All right, this is being very honest, I should say, that whatever we cannot explain, we should accept it. And we have to now know, is there any method to find out how these things happen, how it is worked out? After all, in the realm of science, you haven't found out everything so far. And whatever you have found out, you have only found out the things that you can see, perceive by this human awareness, but nothing beyond. You cannot explain anything. And once you know that you cannot explain, you just take it for granted and say it's all right. One of the things we have taken for granted is our human awareness. We do not want to think that there must be some reason God has made us human beings. We know there is evolution, that we accept, thank God. Now no more somebody is not going to crucify me for saying that you are evolved. But nobody wants to think why. Why are we evolved to be human beings? To be crazy people? To be paranoid? Or to be just insured in some insurance company to die? Or to love 2-3 children and leave all the money in their name? Or some sort of a limited sphere that we think of in which we find satisfaction? Was that the reason for this universal being to create us into a human being? Must be some purpose, cannot be purposeless. Why did he create us, we must all think? Is just to slog and run a rat race and then die? Or is there something beyond? And when people start thinking about something beyond, then some create an image of God, say, all right, there is God. Then they say, all right, if there is no God, there is some sort of a cosmic power. Or they have given big, big names to all this unknown power. It's a simple name, I give it, is love of God. That also many people use, you will be amazed, love of God. Many people use it. But when you know this love of God, then this love flows from you. It just emits. It acts. It works out the way a flower becomes a fruit, in the way all these things happen. This flow of love acts. And that action, you may call it miracle or whatever it is, but it's very natural, because if it is flowing now on a level that is available to you, it has taken you to a subtler level from where you are emitting this, you get connected, say, to that tremendous power of universal love, then it must act. It's easy to talk about it. I mean, you can have people who can give lectures and lectures and lots of lectures about love. Also, you can see groups of people just moving in a wave, like some drugged or alcoholic people saying, oh, we are all in love, you see, we are moving. But it doesn't act. Love has to act. If it is not acting, then it is not God's love, it is some sort of a mental projection, or maybe your imagination that you are in love and you are in a romantic situation or some sort of a thing like that. It's something like any other human romantic adventure. This is not reality. Love of God in reality acts, manifests. And how does it manifest? As Muhammad Sahib has said, that when the time of resurrection will come, your hands will speak. Their mouth only speaks, not the hands. With the mouth they will say, all right, this is in love of God we are doing this. Sometimes I see all these plays going on, or we can say the circus going on. I'm amazed, how can they befool themselves and befool others for nothing at all? When this dynamic love flows, it acts. Because this is the vital love. This is the love which has energy of giving energy to others. This is the love that combines all the energies of the world. And if this love cannot do the work of those energies, what's the use of having this love or talk about it? So the time has come for people now to face it directly and see it directly what it is. But most surprising thing is that human beings don't like the truth. They don't like it normally. If they put some show of artificiality, you will get thousands of people here sitting down. You might get the whole of Delhi caught up into it. Some sort of an artificial thing which has no relationship with God and His love. That is very much more appreciated. Because people think by that they don't have to achieve something. There's nothing to be done about it. For example, if I say I'm going to take out a diamond from the air, then thousands will be impressed, especially in the developing countries where they think diamond is the last word for God to give us. It's a headache, you know that. Thank God the diamonds now have gone down in value. So now they will take out something else from the air. But there are many who are mad after such people who materialize things and give. I mean, one should use the brains God has given us for using it. Do you think that God is interested in giving us diamonds? Then there are people who will tell you, all right, if you stand on your head for 10 days every day, then you will have your realization, you will become a great man. So they will do it because there's a challenge to the ego. But after 10 days, having all the headaches and all that, you go to the gentleman, he'll say, no, these were your karmas. You had some blockades. And this happened and that happened. That's how you didn't get it. So you do it with a double energy. Same thing. Again for 10 days. Within 1 month, you are starved, finished, and you might develop epilepsy or something and finish off in a lunatic asylum. Could be anything. There could be some other type who would say, all right, we must all meditate. Meditate here, meditate there. You cannot meditate. You have to be in meditation, means you have to be in that subtle awareness where you are collectively conscious. Is an awareness, is a higher awareness than what you have. Now, then they start meditating. Meditate on this, meditate on a light, meditate on your head and all that. You are to be connected first. Even prayers are the same way. If you are praying like mad, God must be fed up, first of all. If not, if He is not fed up with you, at least one should find out, are we at least connected with God? How are we to believe that whatever we are talking is heard by Him? What is the proof? We have to first of all establish that there is a rapport already established between us and God. If it is not so, then you are dishonest. Because if you are a scientist, you must first verify that whatever you are doing in a proper way. I would say most of the people who have been now going to different groups and churches and this and that are thinking, what are we doing? Are we doing something sensible? What have we been doing? What did our forefathers do? Is it correct? Did it lead us anywhere, or did we lead others anywhere? Why not ask this question? You see, nowadays I have seen some people sit down and plan out how to make it more interesting for people to come. I mean, they may start, say for example, a discotheque in a church or anything to make it more entertaining. I mean, is that the way? Are you going to reach God? That could be the attitude of any sect which is not yet connected with God. That's why I would say that we all of us have to face ourselves and ask ourselves honestly, are we connected to God or not? Now, how are we to know whether we are connected or not? I mean, if you believe you are already connected, I have nothing to say. Because this argument can take me away to such an extent that I will have no time for others. Like the other day, one gentleman took half an hour just arguing and I had to work, And he kept me busy very selfishly. I said, now will you please stop it and come and see me some other time? The others were all waiting. So we have to find out how far do we know that we are connected to God. How are we going to find out? That is very, very simple. Very simple it is. How do you find out that this is receiving my mouth? It's like my mouthpiece. That it is receiving my sound. That on the other side a person can hear. That means this is working all right. Now, if I ask a question and that person can answer it, that means he is listening to me and this is working all right. Now, supposing my talking on this mic is giving some recording there, say on a graph. And when that person asks the question, my answer again goes in the graph which answers his question. Then he will definitely believe that the connection is there, isn't it? It's a simple thing, that's the way we do it every day. There's no question of blind faith. So when your hands speak, you ask a question. It's very simple. You see, for people, it has to be something very serious, or you must discuss it and talk in a very serious manner. The whole thing is extremely serious, as if there's a big operation is going to take place, your stomachs are going to be cut out and something is going to be pushed into it, and then your realization is going to work out. But look at the flowers, how they become the fruit. And how did you become a human being? Without any seriousness about it. Of course, it is not frivolous, but it is cheerful. And the whole thing, if you understand, that this operation is happening because you are made for it. Because you are built in for it. All these things are within yourself. Just it is a matter of connecting you to the mains. And when that thing has to happen, it should be the simplest. Because you have already reached a certain point, only from this point you have to go one step forward. For that you need not spend thousands of years writing books and this and that. But people can't understand. You see, they have a big objection that how Sahaja Yoga is available to people who just come there, Kundalini rises, they get realization. I say, why not? According to them, You must read some books on law, income tax, everything, and then find out about God, ultimately. Or maybe you should belong to some union or something, to political party and all that you should do. And then if you come to Sahajog, then you are rightly placed for Sahajog. It's not. What books do we read for our breathing? What knowledge do we have for our breathing? Nothing, we breathe, that's all, isn't it? Simple as that. In the same way, your realization is absolutely living and simple. For that, you don't have to waste your energy on all these artificial things. It's a living process of a living God. And then it is to be verified. So as Mohammed has said correctly, that your hands will speak. Means what? To be very frank, I must say I am very fortunate compared to all of them, because in modern times you cannot crucify me. And Muhammad Sahib was given poison and tortured all his life. That won't happen to me. You cannot cut short my life as you did that of Christ. In 4 years, what could he do to these fishermen? What could he tell them? 4 years is nothing. I was working on 7 British intelligent people for 4 years, struggling with them. So what are 4 years for a person like Christ? Whatever he tried to say in a nutshell has to be explained. We must find out some other methods by which it can be complemented. But anybody who says you have to go to some other books to find out about him, oh, they will be very angry. They will not have it. They will have their own mental projections about it, and they'll produce it before you, saying, see, this is it. And that's how people are surprised why none of them are near him. How they lead such a horrible life and call themselves the followers of Christ or followers of Muhammad or followers of any other great incarnations on this earth. The reason is there is no relationship. There is no rapport. If there was, there would have been no problems, because they are all related to each other. As Christ has said, those who are not against me are with me. And who are those? I mean, you didn't give him chance to talk much. And whatever he has said, he has tried to point out as much as possible what is going to happen in the future. He has talked of the future. He has said, I'll send you a counselor, I'll send you a redeemer. He has talked about this. But what about looking out for that? Instead of that, people are satisfied. Sunday morning, get ready, go to church, come back home, finished. Then they get angry. Then become communist. They think if this is hell, the other is heaven. That's equally the same. No difference at all. Deny God. By denying God, are you going to find him out? Like a lady who says, I love my husband and goes for a divorce. Something like that. It's absurd. If you love your God and you want to find him out, then how can you deny him? All right, some people are wrong, but you should find him. Within you resides this great power of God, which is the Spirit, which is described by all the great scriptures of the world. Once you get to that Spirit, that light, the great light of your own spirit, shines in your attention, you are amazed. The whole thing gets integrated. Your physical, mental, emotional being gets integrated. That's how you get rid of your diseases automatically. Your spirit does everything. People sometimes thank me. I said, what is there to thank me? I mean, I haven't done anything. You are like a lamp, and there is the Spirit, only the spirit has come into your attention by Kundalini awakening, which is your own mother. You can do it the same way. You can do the same work. So there is nothing to thank me about. And when it happens, you become collectively conscious. Again, I say you become. The other day, I had a phone call from someone who is a patient, and one of the Sahaj Yogis have been able to cure that patient. The lady said, she's from India, she said, Mother, I have been to many sadhus and saints and real saints and seers. But none of them do any upkar, means they do not try to help us out. So we have to go touch their feet and all that. But nobody does this. And look at this Sahaj Yogi for not paying a single pi to nothing. He comes every second day and he's cured me completely. And he's enjoying that. He doesn't ask for money, he doesn't take tea, nothing. He just comes home and tells me how to do it, and just it has awakened now and he's trying to establish it. Nobody does that. If you go to them, they'll give you a big lecture. Don't do this and don't do that. All kinds of commandments they come out with. But they never help us. Upkar has no translation in English language, I'm sorry to say, but it means gracious helping. In the concrete form, you see, graciousness is also, we can say, I'm gracious, may not do anything about it, you see. I could be gracious without doing anything about it. I can say I'm compassionate, may not do anything out of compassion, you see. Or you can say that, oh, she's very compassionate. But what has she done? It's a concrete thing that you do out of your compassion is upkar. And that's what she said, and I was amazed, really. What are they doing, all these saints who are such great born realized souls? In India, we have many saints. You will be surprised, everywhere I find there are saints. They are quite satisfied with themselves, but they are not bothered that they have to help others. And a gracious help, which could be health, could be their well-being, could be their family relationships, or could be their spiritual ascent. But spiritual ascent is the main thing. If that happens, everything works out automatically. Like when the light is put in, you see everything clearly. In the same way, once this thing happens, it should work out. I think there is no compulsion of anything. Whatever type they are, they can come to Sahaj Yoga. Drunkards have come to my program and shouted at me at the top of their voices. They have. Fanatics have come to my program with a Bible about to hit on my head. People have come from all walks of life and all types of people. But once they are changed, they know this is the spirit and this is what we have to have. If you are a seeker, you get it much faster. If you are a superficial person, you will come only for sickness or something, then you will feel, your curiosity will be awakened, then you will become a seeker, and ultimately you will get your realization. It takes time for some people like that. If you are already conditioned and you have fixed ideas about yourself, that God is like this or God is like that, then you have to come out of it a little bit gradually. And then you see for yourself what it is. Sitting in my car, if I had been thinking about this hall, I would never have been able to see what sort of a hall it is. But when I came in, I can see it clearly. But supposing I was stuck up with the ideas that I had about God or realization or anything, I would have been just there, not here to see what it is like. So all these things, all the blockades do retard the speed of realization, no doubt. But all of you have to have realization because the time has come. This is the special time when all of you must have your realization.